Roger Nolan was, the godfather of SWOs in Newport back when the Red Coms were king. And I remember meeting him as a senior lieutenant, and he said, the day you get your fit rep, wake up tomorrow morning and write your next fit rep. And that's your plan. Now we call it a member action plan, but he says that fit rep, those 18 lines, that's your plan for the next 12 months. And as your mentor and your reporting senior, your boss agree, that's it. So this session is about writing fit reps.
Yeah.
It's about what makes a great fit rep, what's a great input. And obviously, if you're a lieutenant, it may be a little different than if you're a commander or a captain. But so why don't we jump into it? One of the things you like to talk about, impactful, the purpose of a fit rep is for what? And we've been talking about boards and records.
Boards.
So it's not about someone.
It's not my ego. It's about talking to the board, telling the board what I did. And you're talking about writing your goals for the next year right afterwards. If you write your own goals, more than likely they're going to be measurable.
Yep.
And when they're measurable, that translates. That's what people, when somebody says, this is my #1 of 28 commanders of all designators, all services, and you can read through those blocks and you go, wow, he increased, budget utilization 92%. He went from 110 days of, active duty support to 2,000 days of active duty support. It makes people believe those, because sometimes it's hard to say, but folks, people aren't always honest on fit reps. And it's when you can put the objectives as measurable, that shows people that you've got a purpose and you're looking for something. If you're the PRT coordinator and that's your job because you're in a big unit and that's all you can do, everybody passes the PRT. 20 of 20 people pass the PRT. It doesn't matter what it is, because we know we can't always pick our job, but the fit rep has to translate.
Absolutely. In goals, people know you can Google SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound.
Yep.
And 12 months is time bound, or hey, I just got a fit rep and I'm going to get another one in 5 months. Being mindful of where are you in the cycle?
Yep.
Is my reporting CO leaving? And what do I have to do during that period of time? Let's talk a little bit about reporting senior averages.
Okay. So if this is the first time you're hearing it, we have a problem. So maybe for some of the new lieutenants and how it translates from active duty to reserve, it's still that RSA is one of those numbers, and it's a set of 3 numbers that you can see on the PSR at a glance. In a microsecond, I can look and see exactly how you did on that fit rep. If you're 1 of 1, that's not bad, because guess what? A lot of COs and XOs are the leaders. They're the guys out there taking a chance. They're going to be 1 of 1, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the fit rep when you are a hard 1 of 25, and you can see that on there, and that RSA will support that.
But if you're a 1 of 1 fit rep and you're below the reporting seniors average, basically what it's saying is, this person, compared to other people I have given reports on,
right,
I think has performed below their level.
Right.
So it really is just the average of that person.
Right.
I've seen people get upset because they got like a 3.4, but the reporting seniors average is 3.2.
Right, right.
That person is a really hard grader, but they specifically kept their average low because when they wanted to send a kaboom to the board,
right. Right.
This is an amazing performer,
right,
you give that person a 5.0 and they're a full point grade higher in that average, that's
right,
telling the board.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
When you grade inflate because you're not willing to have the hard discussions, talk about hard discussions. Midterm counseling a little.
So, let me preface that with, a lot of people shy away from hard graders. I say those are the people you want to seek out and find, because if you do a good job for them, you're going to stand out at the board. My 04 average is a 3.86. If I give an 04 a 5.0, guess what? That's going to look really good at a board. And that's not just me, that's any reporting senior. So the hard discussion, first of all, not everybody wants to make 05 or 06. There's nothing wrong with retiring as an 04 with the points you want, and you did what you want to do. So it's not necessarily a discussion you have to have on the fit rep, because the fit rep is for that time of performance. But if you ask someone to do something and they're not doing it, there's a midterm counseling for a reason. Let them know. And then 6 months later, or 4 months later, 5 months later, if they still haven't done it, it's not going to be a surprise to anybody. At the midterm counseling, at the onset, we said, you're going to do X, Y, Z. At midterm, I said, okay, you've got X done, but Y and Z now are my priorities. You need to get those done. If you don't get them done, are you expecting a good fit rep? Well, I'm up for 05 next year. Well, great. You should have done Y and Z. That's how it works.
When you had your squadron command as a captain, what was your feeling when you got inputs from people that clearly put no energy or effort into their fit rep?
I put
18 lines.
Yeah. And I would usually submit it almost as it was given to me. I'm a little different talking to some of my flag friends, is that I usually try and write my direct reports fit reps without any input.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, it is, and it's very hard to do. But what that allows me to do is throughout the year, and since they're my direct reports, I see them continually. If I don't see them, then I get input from them. But they know what I expect of them. They know exactly what they need to do for me. They need to know what the standard is. They need to know what they need to do to excel and meet that expectation. So at the end of the year, it's not, oh, he's the most senior 06, he's getting the 5.0. Oh, he's the most junior 06, he's going to get the 3.2, P. That's not how I work. It's how you perform. And for me, writing that input direct, or me writing the fit rep without their input, and believe me, there's back and forth. After I write it, and they'll read it and say, sir, thanks, this is great. You took the time to invest in my career, but you forgot this. I was like, oh, you're right. And I'll change it. I mean,
it is a process.
Absolutely.
And in every command's different. I've always told people when you go to a command, hey, what's fair to say, what's the fit rep writing process here? How does it work? It's your career.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair question.
And it's your fit rep. It's not the commander's fit rep. It's the commander's RSA, but it's your fit rep, and it's your message to the board. And you know what's funny? That's a great point, and I know we're probably getting a little bit long here, but I think this is important to make, is when you check into a command and you say, what is the fit rep writing process? A lot of people read into that or hear into that, where am I going to fall? Where am I time-wise on my seniority? Where am I in the who's been at the command longer? Where's my tenure? And I don't think that's what people mean. It's like, what is the process? How early do I have to get my input in? And quite frankly, what do I need to do?
What do you value?
Absolutely. And you get the objectives then from the commander, because a lot of times we're so busy, we might not have had the time to specifically tell that one individual what their job is. And that's their ability and process task.
When I have in a recent command I went to, one of my senior officers in the unit asked me, hey, sir, what are some of the qualities someone has to have or do to be the best commander you've ever worked with? And I took that as a wonderful question.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
it gave me a chance to lay things out for them and do that. So we'll talk more about fit reps as we go through this series. But I think it's important that fit reps are on time.
And and I was going to close with that. And
okay.
It's not my responsibility to make sure my fit rep's on time. It is a leadership tenet. If you're writing fit reps, do not have late fit reps. It messes the whole system up, and it tells that individual you don't care about them. They're probably just as busy as you are, so take the time and get their fit rep in on time.
Great way to end this video. Thanks, sir.